Good morning, good evening. Welcome to this week's live craft and chat, where we craft and chat live. Sorry, I'm running a bit late. Got sucked into Ravelry. We've all been there, haven't we? And so I want to say massive thank you to Knit Spin Girls, because it was your little waving emoji that made me oh wait, there's people chatting. Why are people chatting? Oh my gosh. Okay. So thanks for that. Excuse me. So I'm working on the Moreland blanket. If you saw the thumbnail, you know this. If you were here last week, you know why. But if you weren't here last week, the why. Why did Chantelle start another project? Because I needed to. My brain was not being my friend. It didn't want to work on any plain knitting. It didn't want to work on any knitting that required thought. And it didn't want to work on the crochet corner to corner blanket because that's a table project now. And so I wanted something for the couch. Anyway, that's why, and then we had a vote. Then we voted last week. So that's why I'm working on the Moreland. And what I was sucked into on Ravelry, I wasn't hunting for another pattern. No, I was adding all the yarn to my project page. And so, yeah, I was like, oh, let's get all that done in. One thing I want to say is I'm going to show you something here. All right. So Maker is the new rebranded Lincraft cotton. If you're in Australia, Lincraft is one of our 2 big box stores. I think it's just about gone. And anyway, but they've rebranded all their yarns over to this Maker brand, which between you and me doesn't have the best reputation. And one thing I really wanted to point out was, as I was adding in the colors, because I was just going to add like all the Lincraft and Maker together, like, oh, all the orange, all the yellow, it didn't matter if it was Lincraft or Maker. I didn't care, right? Until, are we ready? This, just double checking. There it is. This is the Cotton Natural in Maker. This, hang on, just double checking. Okay, this is the Lincraft Natural. It's not even a dye lot difference. They are totally different colors. So then I had to separate it all out. So that's why I did that. I'm really loving working on this. It's still a little bit of a brain tease. You think it's going to be easy, but it's fairly easy. I'm not sure if I'm going to be able to do it during a live stream. I'm really not, because I have to constantly count, which has actually been good for my brain to shut it off from doing other things. Don't know if it's going to work for a live stream. We'll find out. Bianca says it's so pretty. I'm really enjoying it. I really am. Hey, Artsa, great to see you. Sandy Dandy Adams. Sandy, have you noticed you've got a channel membership? You were gifted one last week by the amazing Kelly, who put in 5 gifted memberships and you scored one. So you are a lucky ducky. John O'Brien, great to see you. Why didn't that pop up? There we go. John, did you type artisan or did it put that there for you? I don't know, because I'm like looking at it and it's italicsed. Anyway, good to see you, John. Morning, Deb. Oh, how are you going? Yeah, Vampy, you're right. Lincraft has had it that way for a few years. So yeah, it has had it that way for a little bit, but I haven't really used. I'm not a big Lincraft shopper, to be honest. So there's not one local to me. So I tend to go more Spotlight, but I was gifted all of this cotton, so I'm using it. I love cotton. If you know me, you know how much I love working with cotton and linen and bamboo and all those sorts of like great cellulose fibers. I still love wool, okay? Like I'm allowed to love cellulose fibers and protein fibers. Yeah. I love you and your content. Oh, thanks, Sandy. I appreciate you saying that. Hey, Kelly, great to see you. Knitspin Girl says, it's looking pretty. I may have bought a kit for another one of Attic 24's blankets. I had to back away. I was just like, because I've been on Attic 24's website a little bit over the last couple of, like last week or so. I'm like backing away, back away from the kits. You do not need it. We're trying to stash down some stuff. Yeah. Oh, it put it there? Yeah. Yeah, I knew it was your member level. I knew it was your member level, but I wasn't sure if you added it in or the system did. But that is cool. That is cool. Sandy says, I'll use the pattern vertically, a cardigan floss. Oh, okay, I see. So you'll crochet it horizontally, but then when you go to use the pieces, you'll use it like that. That's really cool. That's a very cool idea. And for those of you that were like listening to me complain about, the edge of it being weird, you're right, it balanced out. So it's sort of like, I'll be able to, when I'm doing the edge and the border, it'll be fine. But it balanced out. It was a bit meh. Red Hooked, great to see you. And Gabby Rodriguez and Holly. So good to see you all jumping in. So good to see you all. Let me just drop that screen over there. Knitspin Girl says, we used to have a Lincraft here. It didn't come back after the flood. I think my closest is now about a half an hour drive away. Couldn't even tell you. We used to have one at the Hyperdome, which was like, 15, 20 minutes away. I don't know where the nearest is now. I didn't even, like when that one shut down, I didn't even look it up. That's all. Is that awful that I didn't even look it up? I don't know. I've got alternatives now. Do you know what I mean? Like none of us have to shop at the big boxes if we don't want to. We've got all our local small stores. Well, I think of my local small stores, they're mostly online, but quite often when I was shopping at Lincraft or at Spotlight anyway, I would end up having to sort of get stuff ordered online anyway to get what I needed. So they just never had what I wanted in store very often. But yeah, so, I was like, well, might as well just order online. So that's one of those things. So John says the Veterans Administration gave me a CPAP machine, so I probably won't nod off. So you are getting better quality sleep now. So that is great. I'm glad to hear that. I do have coffee today in a Fibrific Ninja cup. I forgot to make it in a Yeti. No, there's no reason. Just I was half asleep. I did make my tea in a Yeti. It's currently really hot, so I've got its little lid off. So, that's in a Yeti, and my water is in a Yeti. All right, we should go down to the handstand shop. Oh, first things first. I wanted to talk about Discord. Last week, we went in and we had a look at a few members' projects in Discord, which was so much fun. And I loved, I need the coffee. You're right, Hatzog. I need coffee to wake up enough to make coffee in the right cup. I can make the coffee in my sleep, but if I want it in a specific cup. Anyway, so we were doing, we were looking at the Discord projects, and I've got to turn the phone on because I want to bring it up again. Now, I wanted to show you what I've done here. So if we go into Discord, into the Fibrific Discord, and you click on the finished projects, it's kind of the highlighted-ish one. If you click on the finished projects, oops, I'll remove that tag. You can see everyone's finished projects, right? So you can do this on desktop or on mobile, it doesn't matter. But when you add in your project now, see down here at next to the photo, so at the bottom, above the keyboard, next to the little photo square, there's a little like sales tag. If you click on that sales tag, you've got some tags that you can add. So if it's knit or crochet, now I've added share in live streams. So if you have a finished project and you want me to share it in a live stream, then if you tap that and then click save and add that to your project, it appears down the bottom here. So I mean, like, let's say it was crochet, and click save. So it'll have that it's crochet and that it can be shared in a live stream. So this means that when I come in, I can actually just search by the share in live stream tag, And right now there is none things. So, so if you want to do that, you can absolutely do that. And if you do that today and you let me know in the chat that you've added the tag, I'll go and have a look and we can add it up onto the stream if that's what you want to do. So that's where we're at with this one. Alrighty. Let me know if you need any more help with that, if you need it to be any clearer. Now, the Fibrific Fun Zone Discord is free for everybody. There is a section down here, which I won't click on, that is the YouTube channel members area. So if you are a channel member, you have a special area, okay? So you can, but all this rest of this stuff is open to everybody, all right? Holly says, thanks for sharing that. I didn't know how to tag it. Well, there you go. I only put the tag in today. So if you were looking before today and you couldn't find it, it wasn't you. It was because I only added it in today. I was sort of sitting down and running through a list of things that I was like, oh, all these things I meant to do last week and I didn't do. So I've got those in. Oh, John says, new phone, can't log in. Oh, no. That is so frustrating when that happens. That is so frustrating. Alrighty. Kelly's popped in the link for the Discord. Where's my hook? So, look, I'm gonna be honest here. This color here, this brown and this blue, I don't like them next to each other. I also don't like the green and the yellow next to each other. I'm one of those Australians that don't actually like green and gold. It's not that I'm not patriotic. I just don't like how they look together, at least in these two tones. So yes. Where am I up to? Two. All right. So, but because they were the next colors out of the bag, they went together. Okay, hang on. Two. Okay, 4. Yeah, I don't know if I'm going to be able to do this and live stream at the same time because I've got to keep the count going. And sometimes I'm fine, but then I stop and then I've got to work out exactly where I am. And then this happens. See how this frogged out? I had to frog it out because I botched something up and it wasn't lining up properly. Your workings are so spot on. What do you mean? I don't understand. But yes, it's I've been enjoying it. I've been now, admittedly, my brain's still not been the greatest this week. So I haven't done a lot, but I am enjoying it when I do it. And I'll kind of just been like I'll do a color, then I'll put it down for a bit. And then a color and that sort of thing. I would fudge it by drawing an extra color to go between them. Yeah, but I kind of like, do you remember with the dice roll thing? How it was just like whatever the dice says goes. I'm doing the same thing. It's like, this is what happens. In saying that, I did pull out, because I was like, I wonder how many more colors I've got. These are the only colors left that haven't been worked. And they're all greens and tonals. So we're going to either have a bit of a weird section if I'm just choosing from those, or I'm just going to go from there. Oh, the colors are working out just fine. Thanks, Sandy. Thanks for clarifying that. My brain is not my friend. 2, 4, there we go. So yeah, it's I'm tossing up what to do, whether I just throw them all back in the bag. And this is why I pulled them out as well. Like, because I was adding them all to Ravelry. I wanted to make sure they all made it onto Ravelry. Can I tag a whip to share it in a live stream? Well, I mean, give me a second. I was just going to share completed things, but if you want a progress thing, let me see if I can add a tag. I might need to. Look, I'll be able to add a tag to it, but I'm just seeing how I would need to. Just give me 1 second while I just work out how to do that. Settings of that plus. Share on live stream. Save. Save. Okay, so in the progress and accountability, I've now added the tag, but I was just going to be checking the finished. Oh, hang on. Here we go. Bianca. Oh, I don't have a button for it yet. I should make a button. Here we go. Here's Bianca's lacework top. I can't believe it's finished finally, Bianca. Look at this. Whoa. And that is not a self-striping yarn. Bianca says, I'm so happy I finally finished this off. It was supposed to be a cardigan, but I thought I'd get more wear out of it as a top. Wow. And yeah, you add, like, each one of those color changes is you added a color change. And it's lace weight. And is it cotton, Bianca? I see, you've got a, hang on, let me see. You did add a Ravelry link. There is a Ravelry link. So if you go over to the finished projects, you can go and check out the Ravelry link and get all of the details on Bianca's top there. That is gorgeous. John's saying, I can't see where to add. Oh, you found it. Okay. Oh, Bianca just does just stunning, stunning, stunning work. All right, let me just go back to here for a second because there's tags being added in left, right, and center. Let me just see if I can. All righty. Okay. I will keep working on here. Bianca says I had to do a spreadsheet for the color sequences. So you weren't just, just doing what I do and just randomly pick up a color. You actually planned yours out. It's gorgeous, isn't it? Oh, so you wouldn't run out of specific colors. Oh, that makes sense. Whereas I'm like, I don't actually care. I've split the yarn back here and I care about that. So I've got to fix that. All right. It was a half double crochet that I split. And then, but yeah, it's absolutely beautiful. That's absolutely beautiful, Bianca. And thank you for letting us know that you added that in so we could have a look at it all together. So, what do you guys think about the sharing things on the live stream? Let me know in the chat. Like if you are happy, like if you like the idea of being able to see each other's stuff from the Discord. I quite often am inspired by it's actually all of Bianca's tops that got me to make my ranunculus. And I harassed Bianca. With I'm so nervous. I'm so nervous. If you got any tips? And she gave me all these great tips and just basically, made me do it. Dolores says, I'm so horrible at posting my finished projects anywhere. I really should get better about sharing them. This is a great idea. Oh, thank you. And it's like, for me, I've got Kelly, right? Actually, we all have Kelly. Kelly is here for everybody. Kelly is our voice of Ravelry, right? Where, she'll let you know if your project isn't in Ravelry yet. Like, went to look at that project, it's not in Ravelry yet, is it? You're like, no. What have I done here? Look, see, did I botch that up? Let me just have a look here. Yeah, I did. Somehow. Let me try again. Molly says, did you find out from YouTube about the ads in the chat window? I have had 3 already. Molly, YouTube are playing a silly buggers game. I put out the question. They're like, it's this thing here. And it just absolutely like, read this article and you can see how to turn it off. It is absolutely not. And we're not alone. There's other people having the same problem. But as of right now, YouTube are not taking any ownership of the issue. And I am not like, this is the thing. I've not changed my ad setting whatsoever. I have got ads selected so that we get the pre-roll ad, so the ad before the stream starts, so we get that one. So I do need some ads, right? Because otherwise I get nothing, basically. And so I'm happy for that one, or sometimes I'll put 2 together, but that spot, I'm happy for that spot. So I have an option of ads, yes or no, right? On or off. There it actually says on or off. So I have to choose on. But then during the stream, you can either let YouTube choose your ads, or you put in your own mid-roll ads. So I've always just put my own mid-roll ads in and then not put any in, right? And now this is happening, and it's not just us, it's happening to a lot of people watching on mobile, and it is a mobile only issue, which is the other frustrating thing. So those of you that are on your tablets or on your mobile phones, you're the only ones it's happening to. So yeah, it is. I understand that it is so frustrating. I really do, but there is absolutely nothing I can do about it right now. YouTube are still playing the, you must have the wrong settings chosen. And I've sent them screenshots of my settings, and I've sent them to other educators and people that I know who know stuff about YouTube. And they're like, well, you've got the same settings as me. And then we found out that in a live stream this week, those people's audience started having the same thing happen to them as well. So it's happening across the board, and we don't know why at this stage. We just don't know why. And I'm really sorry. I really am. If I could turn it off, I would. Louis, you've left the TV on in the lounge room to come in and hang out with us. Is that going to work? Or do I need to press the button? There he is. Louis here. Louis was a bit of a sick boy this week, but he's all back to normal now. He wouldn't eat his food, and he gets a bit like that every now and again. Just doesn't want to read about that. Oh, Bianca, there is actually news about the massive drop. Oh, hang on a second. About the massive drop in the desktop views. And it is coming from a massive update in ad blocking software. A new line was added to it. Someone who is very clever went through everything. A new line went through it, was added to it, and it basically stops YouTube from counting the view. So it's like a privacy thing. So if you've still got an ad blocker on and you're watching and you leave it on while you're on YouTube, then that's what's happening. And that's why the likes are still there and the comments are still there. Excuse me, because the desktop views were dropping, but the likes and comments were staying similar ratio. And the AdSense was staying a similar ratio. So it was those people who blocked the ads, you wouldn't get AdSense for them anyway. Excuse me. So that doesn't change the income. And those people who watch with an ad blocker on, they still comment and they still like. So the comments and the likes were still happening, but it won't count the view. And it's actually coming from the ad blocker software. It's not actually a YouTube thing. So yeah, that came out like a day or two ago. Theo Joe, who is like a super clever dude, he worked it all out. Yep. And this is the thing, we're on YouTube's platform. This is their platform. They let us use it for basically no cost. As long as you're paying, for your internet access, anyone can upload to YouTube for free. So I don't want to pound too hard about it, but at the same time, it's frustrating when they're like, oh no, that's not happening. And I'm just sort of sitting here like, yeah, it is. Yeah, it is. So I don't know what to recommend about it. Because at this stage, and the other thing I'll say is I'm not noticing an increase in my ad revenue either, just to throw that out there. So I thought, with all these extra ads, maybe I'll notice a little bit of extra something come through. Nope. So I don't know what's going on there. So just shut them down as soon as you can. I'm very sorry about it. Oh, I'm doing the wrong thing. Doing the wrong stitch. Excuse me, sorry. My lungs are playing up. I have a doctor's appointment this afternoon and Ventolin is no longer my friend. So I'm sorry if I keep coughing. That's how my asthma does. I have bronchial asthma and it just sometimes hates me. So, that's where we're at. Why can we not love? What do you mean? Why can we not love? I'm confused by that one. Let me know what you mean by that. Thank you, Molly. I appreciate your understanding because I get it. I get that it's frustrating. I'd be ticked off. I mean, it is one of the reasons why I have why I personally have premium, and it's just a viewing experience thing. But I know not everyone can do that. So there we go. But yeah, so I don't know how I'm feeling, but like I will say there is a distinctive difference in the feel to the Maker yarn versus the Lincraft yarn, which I didn't think there would be. I thought it was literally just they're just shoving new labels on. But it does feel different. I mean, it might be a color to color thing as well. I'll check that. Sometimes it's a color to color thing. Oh, I understand. So you're wondering why YouTube only does a thumbs up, but you can, like on Facebook, how you can do hearts and stuff like that. So yeah, it's I don't know. YouTube just has thumbs up. Bianca says this live stream is the only thing I regularly watch. Yeah, that's the thing. Like, so there's no point in having something like YouTube Premium if you don't do anything else. Yeah, Kelly says the lowest level of membership is ad skipper, but she's right. I've added that. That doesn't mean YouTube skips the ad. It means that I won't be upset when I find out you're skipping the ads. Because you've chipped in your dollar for the month. And that's awesome. So, but you still need to physically skip the ad. Oh, Gamer Widows, I totally know the feeling, and I'm so sorry that happened to you at that sort of event. Yeah. I'm so sorry. And I know what that racking feeling is. I've been coughing so hard, my hands are tingling. And like getting pain through my legs, which is one of the reasons we're going back to the doctors. Molly says it sucks that they're throwing ads in the live chat window, but then you get no revenue. Yeah, I'm not really sure about that. I mean, admittedly, I'm very small scale, right? So I don't know if I would like to put it into perspective, right? Last week's live stream made 37 cents like just for the views, like not including the amazing generosity of Kelly for the channel membership. But the ads from last week's live stream was 37 cents. The week before was 39 cents. The week before that was 42 cents. So because it's such small amounts, I may not notice it, if that makes any sense. Like, I don't know what the CPM is on that. So, and that could be it. So maybe I am getting some sense from it, but I just don't notice it. I don't know. I don't know the answer to that. Oh, Talia, not back burning. I mean, I understand why they have to do it, but I wish that they would just give us like a little bit of a warning, like, hey, lock your windows up. We're going to be smoking everyone out. Don't bother hanging your washing on the line today because you're just going to have to re-wash the whole lot and do it again. Like, yeah. Oh, there we go. But yeah, I'm very confused. But all the YouTube people have been very busy. They just had a big event in New York called Made on YouTube, where they announced a whole pile of new YouTube features, most of which I probably won't use, I'll be honest. But they look really fun. Some of them look really interesting. There's some new stuff for live streaming, but not so far anything I'm really that keen on. I mean, I want to have a good dig in. I don't want to be too negative. I want to have a dig in and have a look at it once it's like not just like a press release kind of level. I want to see what kind of information, that we get and how usable and fun it actually is before I make any judgments. Because like this leaderboard thing, um, it's not awesome. What are the wavy stitching you're using? This is actually the Moreland pattern from Addict24, totally free on her website, and she's got photo tutorials for that. Is one of the mods able to throw that in the chat? Otherwise, I can dig it out and find it. So just let me know. Oh, Talia, that is awesome. We don't get any here. You must be in a good council. We're not in a good council. Yeah, Bianca, the side by side that looks interesting. That is not for mobile. That is for television and desktop. And the audio will it'll split it, and the live stream will keep going, and then the audio will the video the ad will play next to it. The ad for the audio for the ad will actually take over, so you won't hear the live stream, but you can actually opt to hear the live stream while the ad is playing, but you have to manually do that as the viewer. So yeah, so just keep an eye on that. That one looks fun and interesting. And at some stage we'll probably have a little test with that just to see what it actually does. But yeah, that's how that one will work. Oh, Kelly, thank you. It's been girl says my neighbor has a new fountain. It's splashy and watery noises, which can be quite relaxing, but not if you have a suggestive bladder. No, that could be interesting. Tally says they've never done that before, but we're definitely appreciated it being a thing. Oh, for sure. Getting that warning so you don't waste your time. Oops, I did the wrong stitch here. Like doing your washing is not fun, right? Like I don't find laundry a fun task. I'm sorry, I might be a bit weird, but I don't. It's a necessary task and it has to get done and it gets done. I don't find it fun. But what I find least fun, less fun, is having to redo the same laundry again because there was smoke. And some people are like, it wasn't that much smoke. You can barely smell it. I mean, I can smell it, and smoke is one of my asthma triggers. So the second I even smell it remotely, my brain starts freaking out that that I'm gonna, get to the Ventolin, get to the clean air, my brain goes into overdrive. Now I know that's a me thing. I do. I know that's a me thing. It doesn't change anything. A bladder the size of a walnut. Easy, Deb. Easy. So I'm very excited. So this weekend is I have botched something up. I do not have enough stitches. I've got to count something. This weekend I've got a sewing retreat that I'm going to. I've probably talked about it so much already, but I'm going to talk about it again. But I just have to run through and count this entire row and work out where I screwed up. Okay, so 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. Hmm. I'm supposed to have 2 half doubles and then a treble. Did I start wrong? That's the treble, that's the 2 half doubles. So somewhere I've got the right outlaying of stitches. One stitch there, one stitch there. I don't know. That's what I said. I don't know if I can do this one during a live stream. If people don't like housework, what madness is this? I know. Darn that counting this. And it's still wrong. Oh, I don't know what to do. I didn't so much miss a stitch as I've missed a spot. Usually I miss a stitch. Oh, Game Widows. Yeah, we've got no control over the pop-ups, honey. I can't do anything about them. What I would love is if some of you could screenshot them and send them to me, and then I can just be like, and what I'm going to do is actually I'm going to screenshot my monetization page. So I can be like, this is the monetization settings I have for my live stream. And then go from there. Yeah, because like we choose ads based on your earnings and a good viewer experience for your audience. And I'm like, I appreciate that they're trying to make me earn some more money, but this is ridiculous. Put up a thread on Discord. You are clever. I will do that. But if you guys can grab the screenshots during the stream and just, I don't even know what we're going to do about it. Look, this is not working and my brain will not let me do it because I have to keep track of the 10 stitches. I'm going to have to work on something else. Like, it's like, where have I gone wrong? That's the other thing. Now I've got to pick it apart with my brain. Because, like, look at this. I'm like, is it been wrong all the way down? Because, like, look how nice and straight that is. And, but then why would these have all worked? Anyway, that's going over there. I'll screenshot for you. Thank you, Molly. I appreciate that. I do have this right here. We can knit for a bit. What happened to the color balance here? Thanks, Sandy. Bianca says I'm not getting any ads with my channel membership, which is lovely. The channel memberships won't change whether you have ads or not. A channel membership doesn't mean anything. Gamer Widows is a channel member, and she's getting ads. So being a channel member doesn't change whether you get ads or not. The only thing that changes whether you get ads or not is whether you have YouTube Premium or an ad blocker on. They're the only two things that'll stop an ad. Or I don't have ads turned on. So, but I do. I have them turned on so we could get our pre-roll ad. So, yeah. And only people on mobile devices will be getting these particular ads. So yeah. So Bianca, are you watching on a tablet or a phone? Because it's only people on tablets and phones getting this. So desktop viewers are not. So desktop viewers won't be, and TV viewers won't be getting any ads. So it's just the phone users that are getting the ads, which I'm just so perplexed by because it shouldn't be. So yeah, channel memberships don't give you an ad-free. The Hexie blanket. What did I do with that? Oh, it's just over there. I could go and grab that. Bianca says, I'm on my desktop. I was getting ads before, but not the ones blocking the... Yeah, on desktop, we're not getting the chat blocking ads. It's only mobile users that are getting the chat blocking ads. On desktop, the only ad you should see is the ad that rolls before this live stream starts. So on oh, hang on, come back, little Stitch. Don't go too far. Did I save it? It dropped down too, so let's see if I can. Little Stitch. Where do you think you were going? But yeah, so on desktop, you should only be getting the ad before the stream, unless we're doing testing and I trigger an ad. But yeah, this problem that everyone's having right now is only the ads that are hitting the mobile phone users. But if you're on desktop and you're getting an ad, you need to let me know that as well, because I'm not triggering any ads. I was getting those plus static ads below. I don't think we've, like, banner ads? I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. I'll chat to you about that another time. But yeah, I don't know. But because the only option I have with ads, right, is off or on. And then if I actually hit the button to trigger one during a live stream, that's it. So yeah. And with the pre-roll ads, YouTube only, you don't always get one. That's the other thing. YouTube works out if it's time for you to have one. Thank you. I just spotted that, some of you have started sending them through already. So I really appreciate you sending those to me, and I'll get all those up. I'm going to put in feedback and attach every single one to YouTube. I got that one, Holly. Thank you. That one made my wrist vibrate. It's like, what's that? What's that? Funny story about the hexes. I had to go in and cut out about 8 hexes off the project, because I may have made them pentagons rather than hexagons, and it wasn't until I went to work into them that I realized what the issue was, like an idiot. And then went around and had a look and realized how many I'd done it to. Felt super dumb. So the project got put down for a little bit because it was just like, hello, Chantelle. This is so dumb. Let me know in the chat. Have you ever done that before? Have you ever just totally just decided to make a totally different shape to attach to your project? Well, that's something else. I'm still steady gazing at your hand movements. You knit so fine. Yeah, it's just, I don't know. It's just the fine needles and the fine yarn. It's like anything. You just adjust to it. I tell you what, though, when I go and start knitting on a larger project, like with thicker yarns, it is so insane. It's like, oh, this feels so bulky and cumbersome. I'm just going to see if I can fix this color balance here, because that's I'm not enjoying that. I look very blue. Blue. Let me look. So the auto white balance is wrong. That's better. It's not perfect, but it's definitely better. So yes. Dolores says, I watch on the TV, but I have my tablet going to join into the chat, so the ads don't actually bother me. Happy to contribute the couple of cents to your revenue. Thanks very much for that. Callie5567 is in the chat. Great to see you. You're working on a skull blanket. I've been seeing a lot of skull stuff come through. My brother actually sent me a message, and it was somebody who'd made the skull pants, and he was like, hey, could you make this but as a beanie where the skull actually covers my face? And I was just like, nah, nope. Sorry. But the skulls look interesting and fun. It's not really not something I want to run out and make. But Halloween is coming. I went to a store yesterday and I noticed all the Halloween decorations are out. So it is coming. And it's a bit weird having Halloween in Australia. You know why? Because in Halloween for you guys, well, for some of you guys, it's getting colder. Like, I went to bed last night at 11 o'clock at night and it was 24 degrees Celsius. And it was just like, this is stupid. I did miss that opportunity, Game of Widows. I missed that opportunity to be the sister and say that would have been an improvement on his face. I really did. I didn't even think about it. I just thought, nah, I don't want to make that. You know when your tea's just at that perfect temperature and you wish you could keep it at that temperature forever? Well, my tea just made it to like cooled down and now it's at the perfect temperature. Lids on. Lids on. I don't know what I've done to this silly blanket. And because I've been so good and I'm weaving in all the ends as I go, if I want to pull out more than one row, it's going to make me sad. It's going to make me sad. And I don't want to do that. I might have to fudgeroni. If it turns out to be the green row that's the issue, I may have to fudgeroni. Oh, Bianca had to change the bedding at 2 a.m. last night. Did you get too hot? Because it's just ridiculous. Like I had to change over to my I had to change my blanket. Has anyone gone camping at a state park for a Halloween weekend? No. Halloween's a relatively recent addition in Australia. It's not as steeped in tradition as it is in the US. More kids are doing it, but it's just a trick or treating. We don't seem to have like the big Halloween parties or anything like that. There are a couple of streets that go all out, but they are the exception rather than the rule. Yeah, it's gotten so warm. It really has. Abby sent me through a message yesterday and she was like, oh, look, your top temperature tomorrow is going to be 29 degrees. Mine's going to be 7. So yeah, no need to apologize. It's just something that's not really, it's not a big thing here. That's all. Oh my gosh. So not even an hour in, Game of Widows has 6 ads. That's just, I'm so sorry. I really am. I wonder if I just turned off monetization for the stream totally, if it would stop. I'm going to do that because it's ridiculous. So I'm just going to turn off save. I'll turn it back on after the stream. Because that's just ridiculous. It's just ridiculous. 6 ads in an hour that block the live chat if you're on a mobile device it's less than an hour. 6 in 50 minutes is just ridiculous. What are you doing down there, Lou? So hopefully, let me know if you still get ads because I have literally turned off the monetization of this stream because of the ads. So if you feel like you want to give a little super chat or a super sticker or something like that to help out, I would greatly appreciate that. But I also understand if you can't. But yeah, so, but also please tell me if it's 10:52 a.m. here now. If you get any ads from here on in, please let me know in the chat because I have turned it off. So yeah, it is too much, Sandy. It's too much. I agree with you. Oh, thank you. Kelly's dropped my buy me a coffee link, so that is actually a more direct way to send a coffee my way. The teal and the purple that I'm working on. Okay, so this is one of my hand dyed. So this color is awful. Is it better? No, it's not really any better there. This is the Fiberific, not Lake. It's one of the other band flakes. Oh my gosh, where's Josephine when you need her? She knows the name of the color. Moran. This one's Moran. And this is I can't remember the exact name of the color. I do have them all listed out over on my Ravelry page for this project. But this is from, it's a hand-dyed 4-ply from Fiber Lily. So she's a local Australian dyer as well. This one was mine when I was dyeing. So that's a 4-ply sock yarn as well, wool and nylon blend. And yeah, so that's what I'm working on. Thanks, Molly. I would appreciate that, especially those of you that have just been pounded, like with six ads in 50 minutes. It's really disappointing, is what it is. Now, I'm just checking let's have a look here. So we've got a new project that we can share. Oh, sorry, Lou. You're going to need to move, buddy. You're right in front of the project. Oh, hang on. That's not locked. That was dumb. Let's try that again. Sorry, Lou. We're just going to pop you down temporarily, big man. Okay. Holly says, I've been pulling the colours from the cover of every book I finished this year, plus classic movie posters that a YouTuber posts every month. I'm joining the hexagons with a continuous join. I'm about halfway done joining the hexagons I have so far. Check that out. That's a really interesting way to choose the colours between being able, like between the book covers and the movie posters. That's actually a very cool way. So I love that a lot. Sandy Dandy has just donated a Fiberific membership, and Amelia Nicole has received that one. So Amelia Nicole, if you get your message or if you're here, you can thank Sandy for your guest membership. But yeah, sorry. Well, Holly says this one's been a fun one to do. Yeah, I can imagine. And it's like this one, right, that I'm doing. It's kind of like, well, I mean, the one you're doing, it's going to have memories. You're going to remember why you chose that color. You're going to be like, you're going to associate those colors with the books and with the movies. But at the same time, it's still a bit random. So that's very cool. Thank you so much for sharing that with us. Artsog is sorely tempted to go back on the couch. Every time I turn my head, I see my half-painted miniatures pleading with me, but I have to finish the jacket I'm knitting. Oh, dear. Gosh. I get that. Alrighty. There we go. Bianca says, I always choose colours by what I have available. I usually do, but like for this particular hat, I had like an idea in my brain, right? And so I put out my feelers to some friends about like, do you guys have any purples? Because I realized my stash is pretty much purpleless, right? And I wanted a purple, and I was just going to do the two colors. And then two amazing friends were like, well, I've got these in my stash that I'm happy to, move on. And then I realized those two purples would both work with each other and also work with my teal. And so that's where the idea was formed. So I secured the destashes, whether they were trades or cash payments. And I then worked out the plan to do the three colors because it's awesome. I do regret going with such quite tiny needles. In all fairness, it wasn't actually my intention. I thought I'd grab the 2.75s. The 3 mils that I made my husband's hat on was just a little smidgy bit too loose, so I thought I'd grab 2.75s. And it wasn't until I was a fair whack through that I realized I grabbed 2.25s. So it's still working. It just means there's a lot more stitches per row. And it's not, because of the yarn that it is, it's still beautifully drapey. There's no issues there. How many hats do I own? Like as in knitted hats, I'm assuming you mean. And I think this is going to be number 4. Because I've got a chunky one that I made out of hand spun with a matching cowl. And I've got one that I made out of my hand dyed teal with a little cable on it. I've got my one that I made with the yarn that I got from the Australian wool store with that beautiful merino, and I made a matching cowl for that. Well, I made the cowl first, and with the leftovers I made the hat. And then this one, I make a lot of hats, but they're not for me, is basically where I'm trying to go with that. They end up elsewhere. I don't need too many, honestly. It's more just like early mornings, or if I'm out in the evenings. That's about it. Seems like you always have a hat going. Yeah, because hats are really like, they're a nice thing to give as a gift. And I do tend to make hats as gifts. My brother, I swear to God, I don't know how many hats he has. I know I've knitted him about a dozen, but he's always after more. So, because like I know my nephew, rehomes them. And so yeah, my brother, he gets a few hats. Tim's only got 2. Abby's got a couple, so they're usually going outside of the house even. They're not even staying in the house. Yeah, a purple stash. I know, like I was as shocked as you are, I think. Yeah, I was like, wait, how do I not have more purple? I made an ear warmer headband from leftovers this week. I really am enjoying the headband that I'm making. And I actually think I prefer the idea of a headband. And so the color of the one that I've got on, it's out in the lounge room. It's a mustard color. It's not really my sort of color. I'll look really sick if I wear that. That one's more for, the Abbies of our lives, but she's also not that keen on it. So that one's going to need to be homed somewhere else once it's all finished. But I think I would like to make one for myself in a color that I'm happier with, because I want to try and do some headbands and wear my hair down a little bit more, or looser, and the headband will keep it out of my face, because that's the issue. I don't like my hair in my face. Some people love having their hair over their face, and if my hair's touching me, I'm annoyed. I don't know what it is. My hair's touching me, it's annoying. But I also don't like having super short hair because my hair grows so fast that I'll be constantly cutting it. So there's that as well. Which is why sometimes I do go and get it cut quite short, and I really enjoy it while it's, but then I feel like I have to go and get my hair cut every 4 weeks, and I'm just like, I don't like doing anything that often. But yeah, then it touches me. Game Widows is off. Bianca says, I like headbands too, but I just love my muscle borrow beanie. Look, I'm loving how this is coming out, and I will be keeping this. Holly says, I have a question for the garment knitters. Alrighty, everybody, put your thinking hats on. I'm thinking about knitting a top, but the pattern doesn't give me a cable length. Is there an average cable length for knitting a top in the round? Look, it's going to come down to your size and how many stitches. So is it a top-down top, like as in like a raglan where you're slowly increasing the stitches as you go? Because you don't want it to be too long, I mean, other than doing magic loop in that instance. But after that, you want it to just be long enough for the stitches to comfortably fit. Okay, so it is top down. Look, I reckon like 80 to 100 centimeters is always a good place to start. So, yeah. Talia says, I want to wear more hand knits, says the Queenslander. Yeah, but the hand knits I want to make are like little headbands. That's it. And cotton t-shirts. I'm loving my cotton t-shirts. So I'm going to hand knit more cotton t-shirts. I've got some really nice yarn to play with going forward once my brain stops being a butt face and lets me work on the projects I actually want to work on, not the ones it lets me work on. And those of you that like, just do it. You can just not. Doesn't work that way. I save my, just do it even though your brain's not being nice. I save that for things like cooking dinner for my family and doing housework because I don't want to do them either. So the energy that I do have that forces me into action is usually for things that affect other people more than knitting for myself. Kelly has some advice here. I often increase my cable size as I go down. You don't want to start with too big a cable that will stretch out your stitches. Because I'm the same. I use interchangeable needles, so I'm able to change the cables quite easily as I go. So I normally start the top on quite a small cable. Have you ever heard of a barn loom? No, I've heard of floor looms. It sounds enormous, but no, I've not heard of a barn loom. But in saying that, I'm not super knowledgeable about weaving. I can do some basic stuff and some little things. I've never done anything really big. So, I mean, barn loom may not even be big. It might just sound big. But yeah, I don't know. I haven't heard of one. Emma may have, but she's not here. So yeah. Yeah, big, that's what I'm thinking. It's big enough that you need to keep it in a barn. That's where my brain's gone. Like, I've got a friend who's got a beautiful big loom. It's just called a floor loom, but it takes up a bedroom. It literally had to be built in the room. It's so big, and it only just fits into a standard Australian bedroom. So about 3 meters by 3 meters, and it only just fits. Vampire says, unless I have a time constraint on a project, I just make whatever my brain wants to work on. That's why I have so many. Yeah. Look, I'm the same. Craft is supposed to be fun. It's my hobby. And I don't take on commissions. Every now and again, there'll be something that has a time frame, like babies and things like that. So, yeah. Oh, I don't know why that got blocked, but there we go. Let's have a look here. A late note from Francis. Hey, Francis, great to see you. Oh, the Nick gift that keeps on giving. Yeah. Vampire. Yeah, she does have quite a. Yes, she does. She does. Whereas Molly's the opposite of both Kelly and I. She actually likes to use the longest cable possible. So there you go. Now, what I will say is I changed my sweater over to a longer cable than I would normally use, but it was still not so long as to distort the stitches, just so that I could try the cardigan, so I could try it on. And I needed it to, because otherwise it's going to lose stitches. But yeah, BP's good to see you in the chat here. And no, so we're just gonna do that. Molly says there's been no ads since you turned it off. Okay. Well, thank you. I'm glad that at least worked. But that's the nuclear option that we went with there. Basically, I've turned off the ads for anyone joining the stream now. No latecomers. There'll be no ads for them either. So for when they first start the stream, they usually get an ad. Wow. Okay. Keep an eye on that. That's twice they've come back now. They actually had 2 separate accounts set up. Thanks, Sal. Appreciate you. Because I hit him once, and then we had to hide him again. We don't let that crap happen here. Holly says I'm used to knitting socks using magic loop, so I may feel normal to use a longer cable. Yeah, possibly. Sandy says my hairstylist keeps wanting to cut bangs. I totally and fully believe in not wanting my hair digging into my skin. Yeah, I don't. Look, I like having a fringe every now and again, and sometimes it depends on my brain, but it lets me get in there, and sometimes I can have my hair all styled nicely, and and I quite like having a little fringe. The fringe doesn't bother me so much as long as it doesn't, like touch me too much. But not today. Today it's all pulled back. Today it was just as easy to pull it back. It's having a straight hair day, not a curly hair day. So, sometimes it's just we just deal with it. Hair. Most of us have some. Alrighty. Yeah, Sal did good work then. Oh gosh. All right, get him again. And also, anyone go and report him as well, because it's totally like harassment. So yeah, and then hide user on the channel. Woot woot. There's not come to the right place to get away with it. They'll be back though. They're having too much fun. They're going to keep coming back. It's been a while since we've had to deal with like an idiot troll. YouTube's usually a lot better. Actually, do you know what we can do? I can add a block word. Just bear with me for 1 second while I... Oh, there we go. Get him again. Thank you. Just you guys have got this for just a second while I deal with something on this end. Where do I go in and do that? Alrighty, what am I going to add for fun? Oh, you guys got him? This is fun. Whack-a-mole. I know you guys don't think it's fun. Okay, there we go. Anise, good to see you in the chat. Good job, Sal. Unfortunately, because these tool bags can just, it's one of the downsides of being able to create a YouTube account for free is they can just have a million accounts and they can just keep coming back. But all you can do is good moderation, good moderators, utilize your block words list as best you can, and just hope for the best. And we've got an amazing community in here, so everyone understands that when someone's being a troll, to just not chat with them, not to interact with them, and we just deal with them and get rid of them, because this is not the place for them to have their fun. This is the place where we have our fun with our knitting and our crocheting and our yarn crafting and all our fun stuff that we do this way. This is our space. Anise, this went into the naughty corner just because I've screwed up the stitch count somewhere and I can't concentrate to fix it. So it's just like over there. And this was the next nearest project. So this is a muscle bark hat that I'm working on in 3 colors. Sandy says, my aunt Arlene had a serious 4-harness rug loom. I remember as a child gazing in the shed as she and her eldest son Steve were warping the loom. Oh my gosh. If you have a question, you can add a question. I don't know what that is. Oh, as in the gel printing jelly plate? I don't do any printing like that, but that looks amazing. I'm just looking up. I just Googled it. I risked it. But that looks beautiful. But no, I don't. I don't do much of that kind of project work at all. But it is beautiful. So yes, I'm going to, where am I at? I'm going to finish this row off, and then I'm going to pull out, as Talia suggested, my hexagon project. So I will get that going. Yeah. So I've got a list of homework, haven't I? I've got to get all these screenshots over to YouTube about the janked up ads. Yeah, pretty much. But yeah, it's and try and sort that out, because I can't run these streams without ads. In the long term. So yes, not unless miraculously everyone becomes a channel member, which is not realistic and not a an actual plan forward. So yes, we will have to try and sort out what's going on with YouTube and see what they have to say. Yeah, it is. It's a crafting method. I looked it up. It looks like it's spelled jelly like Jelli. So it's a gel molding and you paint over it and then you put paper on it and you get paper prints. Um and it looks lovely. It does. It looks very nice. It's not something I've done before. I'm not a big paper crafter. And I don't do much with inks or paints. Um, but my family do. My dad's a painter and sculptor, and so I think he would be very interested in it. Um, oh, there was a summit today. Okay, that sounds interesting. Did you go? Francis says I got an inkle loom from my mum and I'm planning on setting that up soon. I keep thinking about buying an inkle loom because I sew bags and stuff, and I think it would be really cool rather than buying like the webbing straps. Um, then then um, then I can make my own, and make them how I want. I've just got to just quickly respond to something here. Just here you go. Oh, and you got the tablet cards, like for tablet weaving, like little cards. Um, so yeah, it's definitely a fun path. Game Widows is our resident tablet weaver. Um, she actually was helping people at retreat with tablet weaving as well. I've done it once. I went and did a one night workshop and it was so fun. And I think that's the path I would take. If I was to get an inkle loom, I'd want the tablet weaving cards and then use those to make like the fabrics that I want to make for my straps and bands. I need to inquire to my cousin about this. And see if it's still around. I find weaving to be one of those super intriguing things. It's not something I'm very good at, right? Like I can just do really basic stuff, and by basic I mean super basic. Um, but I really enjoy the process. I find it very calming for my brain. And so I remember a long time ago, I wove like a 6 foot scarf out of 700 meters of lace weight yarn. And it was just standard up and down. It wasn't any fancy patterning. The yarn itself was the Colson colorway, so it had some tonal shifts between blues and grays. So there was that, but it was my most prized possession. Like I made it and then I had all these plans to keep it and then I ended up donating it for a prize in a charity. They ended up making a decent amount of money with it, which was great, but I kind of like, man, I really do need to get in there and make another one of those because it was thin and light and soft and silk and wool and cashmere and it was just this divine thing. And now I've got to sit down and redo it. But I've actually got to go through my loom and check it. Because when Louis was a little puppy, he gnawed on some parts of my loom. Louis here, who looks like butter wouldn't melt in his mouth. Would it, Lulu? Let's just see if we can. There we go. Get him a bit more in center. Um, but he chewed through a couple of spots on it, and so I need a new apron bar and something else, I'm sure. And that's just on my standard. I have an 80 centimeter like table loom, or like it's an 80 centimeter rigid heddle, double heddle loom. I do have a 4-shaft table loom as well, which I've actually never used. But what I'm seriously contemplating purchasing is actually just like a little knitter's loom, like the little Ashford knitter's loom, because I just want something for scarves. I love woven scarves. I think I actually like woven scarves better than knitted scarves personally. It's a personal preference. I know everyone's allowed to have their own personal preferences. But when I'm wearing it, I want it to be as lightweight as possible. And if I can weave myself a scarf out of like, a skein of lace weight, then I will do that. But also, it's a good way to use up some handspun stash and a way to sell those finished items. So I don't know what it is about woven scarves, but I'm also looking at, I want to make sure I get my 80 centimeter loom sorted, because how cool would it be? Just imagine if I wove some fabric and then sewed myself a garment with the fabric that I wove. I think that would be pretty dang cool. So that's on a bucket list, that one, because I've got to get that loom sorted, and then I've got to be confident enough in my weaving and my sewing that it will sort of keep everything together kind of thing. It might be like a wait till I've got an overlocker situation and I'm confident with an overlocker, because that's two whole separate things as well. Although I got some fantastic advice about getting confident with overlockers yesterday. So I'm seriously, like, it is now on my wish list for like gifts and stuff. So we're going to keep an eye out and see if we can find one secondhand somewhere. Because lots of people buy them and then don't use them, and then they just got to get rid of them. And there's nothing wrong with their overlocker. They just didn't get comfortable with it. So or they upgrade. They upgrade. That's the other thing. People upgrade. They realize, oh, this is a great beginner one, but I'm not a beginner anymore. And my equipment, I've outpaced my equipment. So I did say hexagon, didn't I? And then I proceeded to knit a whole nother row. So hang on. I'm just going to put it down. Just put it down. Go and get the hexies. Hello? Hexies. Hexagon. Where are you, little blanket? Are you even in here? What did I do with it? It was all rolled up. No. Bianca, did you? Did it not come up on screen? Let me check my emails. Bianca said, I could buy you a literal coffee tonight. Oh, we can just share this. We can just share it. There we go. Sorry, Lou, you got to get off the screen again, bud. Bianca says, I could buy you a literal coffee tonight, but I thought I'd buy you one here to make up for your lack of ads in the stream today. Thank you, Bianca. I very much appreciate it. And thank you for the heads up too, so I could check it. Now we go back to there and bring Louis back. So thank you, Bianca. I very much appreciate that. Sally says, by the way, I had a small win and I finally did a small crochet project. I made a headband ear warmer for a friend. Small little steps. That is awesome. I'm so glad that you're able to do that. and that you had a win. Because sometimes that's the hard part, isn't it? Is getting the win. My blanket's not in the bag of scraps. I don't know where it is. Oh, wait. There it is. It was just like, why is it not in the bag? It should be in the bag. So I had done like a whole other row here and filled in some gaps around here, and then went to work into one of them only to realize that I didn't have enough. Like, it was all sort of, they were looking a bit like that, like a little bit like stretched out and stuff. And I just thought maybe it was a tension thing. No, Chantelle, you made a totally different shape, you great donkey. So that was dumb. I've got so much stuff on this desk today. Let's just move that project back into its project bag, and we can have this. Whoop. Drop my thing off screen. Back into your project bag with the other yarn that's in the bottom. You go over there. You go here. There we go. Alrighty. On that one goes with that blanket. And neither of the two older kids were white noise babies. It seems this one is. Oh, I like white noise. I think it's a good thing. I don't know if it's a good thing for you, so you need to let me know. Sandy says, I've been saving heavyweight flyers from the post to make the weaving flyer loom. I don't know what that is. Sal says, thank you guys. It's been so long since I've done any crochet. Sometimes we just have these times in our lives where we can't. And we, it's not awesome and we don't feel great about it, but we have to accept that, actually that needs a third one, that it's just what it is for whatever reasons, whether it's too busy, medical, like lack of motive, like lost your crojo, like there's a lot, or all of the above. And so just being able to just pick up your hook and make something again, I can only imagine how that would make you feel. So, so that is awesome. That is awesome. Yeah, stretching and resting are important for crafters' health. Absolutely. Absolutely they are. And sometimes we need to rest our bodies for longer than we may want to because our body has made a decision that it is going to do that. That's what it's doing. And you don't get to boss it around if you want to be able to do things, long term. Now, I've got to double check that I am doing this correctly and I have the right number of bits. 5. Oh, you wore compression gloves while you did it? That's so awesome. And because it wasn't a big project, you didn't push it too hard, I hope. I know that's easier said than done, especially when you realize you can do something. I'm that person. I'm like, oh my gosh, I can actually do the thing I haven't been able to do in so long. And then I push too hard and end up like, damaging myself and having to try again another time. Now I'm going to double count. I know I just counted it, but I'm going to double count. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We have 6. That's what we need. We need 6, not 5. We need 6. Oops, Actually, I need there. One and two. So this project's on my Ravelry page as well. So if you're curious about the pattern, you can go and check that out there. Now have I done this right? So yes, good. I'm really paranoid about this now because I did botch one up. Well, it's about 8. I botched about 8 up, and then because I'd already woven all their ends in, I just had to cut them off. I couldn't find their ends to make it all come off, and I couldn't save the yarn. The yarn was gone. So it felt like a huge waste of effort, time, and yarn. So now I'm like super paranoid. These are all scraps of my hand-dyed yarns from when I was dyeing. This is the last bag of all the little multicolour bits that are left, all the leftovers from various, things that we were doing, kits and what have you. I do have a couple of full skeins in my stash, but other than that, this is it for the Fiberific 4-ply wool. So I wanted to make something nice out of it. I think this was the pattern. Oh no, I think you might be right, Kelly. I did follow it from YouTube. Did I put the link into? I thought I still put it on Ravelry. Did I not put it on Ravelry? I'll have to go and check. But I'll have a look. But I did. If not, I will find the link of the video. Because it was, you're right. There was a hexie pattern there by that designer, but it was a different pattern. It wasn't this one. It was like a multicolor thing. Let me get in the spot there and double check I've got the right number. Come on, join on, you little stinker. I really got to go to the optometrist and get my prescription checked. I'm a little bit overdue. Stupid eyes. I never used to need glasses for this sort of stuff. I needed glasses if my computer screen was too far away and driving. That was it. Now I need them for all of the things. Stupid aging. And I've gone off reading books before bed because I've got to keep glasses on, and I like to lay on my side and read a book, and my glasses were digging into my face, so I just started listening to audiobooks instead. Shame to lose the yarn, says Knitspin Girls. I know what you mean about woven in ends, though. When I weave in an end, it's staying woven in. Yeah. I'm with you on that one. They're not coming out. They get woven in well good. Let me just check on Ravelry. Now I'm like, just look at my project on Ravelry that's not there. Let me just check. No, it's not there. I didn't make one. I haven't made a Ravelry project for this at all. I'll have to look it up. There was a YouTube video that I followed for mini hexie join along. Let's see if I can just find it. Bear with me while I have a quick look. I may not be able to on such short notice. Let us see. Oh, look, straight up, first one. Emma C makes. I'm gonna please don't autoplay with sound. There we go. Copy the link. Copy the link into the chat. This is the pattern I'm following. There you go. That is the pattern. Deb says Kindles are great for reading in bed as I can make the words as big as I need. I usually fall asleep reading. And so I would have books fall on my face. If I had a Kindle or something, I'd freak out that it would get broken. And it'd probably still be the same problem where I just didn't use it as much because I thought I was going to break it. That's the one I want because I just want to bring that over a bit more in the middle. This was a colorway that I created, and this is part of this journey for me, right? With these as what remembering why and how I created this colorway. I was making a kit of 3 skeins of yarn for a Add-A-Day Designs shawl. Off the top of my head, I can't remember which one it is. Yeah. And I had this beautiful soft icy blue and this lovely purple. But I want the sway. Thank you, Nat. I was thinking if Nat was in the chat, she'd know what it is. It is. It was the sway. And I was like, I just want something just to sort of bring those two together a little bit, but still be its own thing. And so I made this colorway to go in the middle as part of the kit. So you got the 2 solid colors and then this sort of speckly color. And yeah, so then there was these beautiful sways around that were made out of these lovely kits, and this was just one of the colorways that I put together for that. Deb says I have had Kindles for years and dropped them on hubby, on myself, and on the floor and the cat because they're lighter than like an iPad, aren't they? The Kindles. Nat says that she bought the kit but made a different D pattern with it. Yeah, these Add-A-Day Designs. Nispin Girl says I have one of those kits in my stash. Yeah, well, this is my last little bit of the blue with the purple. Oh, what have I done here? Have I just gone? I've just gone off on a tangent. 1, 2, 3. I've just about finished the 3rd row without actually attaching it to anything. Let's just pull that back a little bit. Where shall we attach it? Let's put it there. Okay, so it needs 1, 2, 3 sides empty. 1, 2, 3 sides empty. There we go. Oh, drop. That's what we're calling it now. Yes. Yes, I dropped it on hubby. Sandy says it's also pretty to have all the freedoms to make and use and wear and gift. Yes. And that's the thing. Like, I know we can't all gift all the things that we want to gift, and because I can't either, you know, like I get that we don't always have that luxury, but sometimes we can make little things. We can gift those. I have to just bring this up to my eye holes a bit better so I can see what I'm doing. Because this is a bit fiddly. And it's not my natural playhouse, so bear with me while I do this. We'll get this little stinker joined on. And it's actually like taking the horror memory of having to cut off like 8 or 9 of these as well. Because like it was like, oh my gosh, I've just had to cut and throw away some of my precious hand-dyed yarn. So it's got this like trauma attached to it now, which it doesn't need to have attached to it. So let's remove that. Now that goes in there. Then we do a single chain there. Then we get over here. Okay, and swing it around. It was pretty heartbreaking. I will say that. There will be times where it slips on his head. Oh dear. We feel you. We feel you. We know. We know the pain. Okay, we've got this. Nearly around to the end of the second piece. So let me know in the chat, do you prefer working with complementary colors or contrasting colors when you're making things? They both work. They both actually work. Cafe 63 tonight. Yes, that is correct. If you are in the local Brisbane area and you want to hang out with crafty peeps, we will be at Cafe 63 from about 6 p.m. Cafe 63 in Beenleigh. I should probably specify that. There's only about 1 billion of them in Brisbane. Alrighty, we've got that. Now we're onto the final edge. So yes, let's get this done. The lady on the YouTube video made this seem so easy, but it's just a little bit fiddly. I mean, technically it is easy, but it is also fiddly. But I really like how it like barber poles the two together. Which once I get past this section here, I'll show you what exactly I'm talking about. Hey Lulu, what can you hear, big man? Your little brain just kicked in there. I saw that happen. What have I done here? I've got an extra. Oh no! Oh no! I don't have an extra. I thought I had an extra stitch, but I don't. It's all good. What it is I don't usually do one right on the end of a square like this. Oh, no worries at all, Sandy. It was great seeing you. And if you've got screenshots of all the ads that hit your account while we were live streaming today, please send them through to me on Discord or you know, however it is that you can send them through. And I'm going to talk to YouTube again and see what they say. But when I'm talking about how it barber poles, see how we've got this sort of this sort of action here, like with so you can see it along the edge stitching where they sort of looks like they're twisting in together. I really like that look. That's what drew me to this in the first place, was this kind of barber poling effect here. And that's what drew me to this particular pattern in the first place. So I'll have to get those ends woven in. But there we go. That looks all right in there, doesn't it? It doesn't look out of place. And isn't it amazing how much easier it is to fit a hexie with the hexies instead of trying to fit a pentagon with the hexies? Mind blown. Mind blown. Such an umpty. So for those of you that have your own channels and you're wondering how we got rid of that troll, it could have been a couple of different things. One of them, they could have given up. But in our blocked words list, we can do lots of different things. But blocked words lists don't just block the comments. If their blocked word happens to be their channel name or part of their channel name that they continuously use, then that also can be used as a block word. So every comment they make just won't appear because YouTube's holding it for review because it's a blocked word. And that particular troll kept coming back with the same channel name. So I was able to utilize their channel name in the block words list. So if you have your own channel and you have got someone who's being a total numpty like that, and they keep coming back with more and more channels because they can do that, then you can add their channel name to the block words list as well. So I didn't want to say that straight away because they've probably given up and left now. So, whereas if I had said it straight away, they could have just come back and changed their channel name and gotten around it that way. So yes, that's another one. That's another fun one. Alrighty. Well, my friends, on that note, I know it's a little bit of an early call today, but I actually have to go out. I've got to go to a doctor's appointment. I'm so glad I got that done. That's just taken away all the negativity of this particular thing. And there's enough yarn there for another one of those colors too. So that's back in the bag. I'm so glad that that negative sort of connotation with this one is gone now because it was kind of upsetting me a little bit. So that one is back in the projects, back in how it's all getting done. So, but yeah, so if you are local, you can come along to Cafe 63 at Beanley Marketplace tonight. Come and hang out. Then we've got then it is. I agree. Then next week we'll be back here again. Don't forget, please, if you're finishing projects or if you want to share your progress of your projects, pop them over to Discord. Please use the share on live stream tags. That way I know that you're okay for me to share it. I hope you all have an awesome day, awesome weekend. Those of you that can craft, get some craft done. Those of you that can't, enjoy what you can do with your hands, with your eyes, all those sorts of things. And I'll catch you next time. Bye now.